What's going on, everybody? Welcome to first episode of Combat Podcasting. I am your host, Kevin Combat Bolander. Alongside with me is Alex and Jeremy. Gentlemen, how are we feeling tonight?
No, I'm feeling great, man. I'm really excited to do this. Ever since you said you asked me to do this podcast, man, I've just been excited and looking forward to it. Haven't really got into wrestling as much lately. I'm excited to get talking about it. Hopefully it makes me want to get back into it more.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jeremy, how about you?
Oh, I'm feeling great, Just got out of class at 2:00?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that shit was crazy today in class. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, we're doing a radio project again, Alex. Where after this time, it has to be serious radio where we actually do like news. Yeah. And so I didn't get to, because we're actually doing it on campus. I didn't get to come to campus today because, well, I'm still recovering from a cold I had last week, but I didn't really get to hear it, but everybody said it was pretty good, so.
The first show was pretty good.
The first show was amazing. I love the first show. Their intro was Triple H's King of Kings theme.
Okay,
and then
good.
It was just a bunch of clips of it. Had even Bad News Barrett. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. And Jerry King Lawler's theme was playing in the background. I'm like, oh my God, the wrestling nostalgia in me is just hitting hard.
You know who did that, Kevin? You know who did that?
It was Dykstra. It was Dykstra.
Yeah, it was Dykstra.
I told him, I said, thank you for that. That was amazing.
He was working on it like 2 weeks into this.
Oh, there you go.
Way before we even talked about it. Once they got the groups assigned, he was already on that shit. And I figured
because he definitely is a wrestling fan. He and I have talked, and he definitely is a wrestling fan. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, that is the topic we are talking about. First episode is Ready to Rumble because this Sunday is the Royal Rumble. The road to WrestleMania begins, and I'm not feeling it this year. Normally, I'm excited for the Rumble, and this year I'm just like, meh. Because they officially announced this, not only on the return of WWE Backstage, which they've been hyping up. I guess Renee Young is coming back. I'm like, yeah, she's coming back to the Backstage. Booker T is going to join her, and I'm like, can we get a CM Punk cameo?
I love CM Punk.
I popped so hard when he came back. I'm just like, I don't care. It's a wrestling. I don't care. It's like a wrestling appearance. It's just him on a screen talk about wrestling. I'd be fine with that.
I wish he would come back because
he's been
let the ratings dropped.
Yeah, today is actually the anniversary of his walkout.
And that was the title, right?
He tweeted that. He said happy. No, that was the first time, like in 2011. This time was 2014 after the Rumble.
Oh yeah. First time was after SummerSlam.
Yep. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to break down the card. There's only 5 matches announced. And then give our Rumble predictions. Who do we think is going to win men and women's? Mine officially changed last night. So, yeah, here we go. So the first one is the men's Royal Rumble match. And I meant to say this, Backstage is going to announce the first entrant, the second entrant to both Rumble matches, and the 30th.
Ooh.
So I'm like, no surprise here, but then I'm kind of thinking, well, there's no crowd, so why not announce it, get everybody hyped for it?
Yeah.
I don't know how much I like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I always like the suspense of seeing who number 30 is. I just think.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I understand with the no crowds, but I just think might spoil it for some people. They might not be as interested.
Right.
That's what the best thing about the Rumble is. You never know who is going where. You don't know if the superstar you want to win is going number 1. Right.
Because always I've had my Rumble pick usually be number 30 because
of course
it started in 2016 when you kind of knew who was going to show up, but it still was a surprise when it was Triple H. I I was like, oh, okay. Revenge on Roman after what happened at TLC last year. So,
I mean, the 30th pick for me has always happened since John Cena's 2008 return from his
yes, that was an
horrible neck
amazing
injury.
return.
And he just killed everyone, basically.
That was the one they did in like Madison Square Garden, I think.
Yeah. And he actually went on to main event that
Yeah, he did.
WrestleMania.
He did.
And everyone was shocked.
Oh, yeah, everybody was shocked. So, if you could pick, which probably this is going to be, I'm not sure. I know who mine is. Who is going to win the Rumble?
Oh, I got my pick. I got to go Jey Uso. I think Jey Uso. I think so.
Is that just because of, how he's been interacting with Roman, or?
Yeah, I just like that whole storyline that they're doing with that and stuff. I've never been a big fan of Roman Reigns, and then they put him with Paul Heyman, and then they have that Jey Uso thing.
Yeah, he's been amazing. He's been amazing as a heel.
I would really like to see Jey Uso win a championship. I mean, see, for me,
By himself.
Well, how we were talking about Triple H, for me, I love that Royal Rumble where he won it. There's just something about seeing Triple H with the belt. So my dream thing would be seeing Triple H win the belt again. That's gonna happen, probably not. But Jey Uso that's who I got.
Okay, Jeremy, what about you?
For me, it's literally between Keith Lee or Otis.
Well, they did say it terrified people, so yeah, I'd imagine that would.
I mean, I know that people would disagree with me about Otis.
They put the briefcase on him last year. I was shocked. I'm like,
yeah, but I mean, he and Keith Lee are the two heaviest people right now.
But where has Keith Lee been on television? He hasn't been on Raw in like 3 weeks.
He was on it with Sheamus like 2 weeks ago, actually.
Yeah. Because they were having their little type feud, but then it turned into
where they destroyed John Morrison into the turnbuckle.
Oh, that was hilarious. And then he just looks, he's like, oh, I did that? I love that.
He just laughed at him.
Yeah.
Well, Sheamus came up and just started patting him on the back with some
right. Well, mine has changed. It was Keith Lee at like the start of the summer. I was like, all right, Keith Lee definitely is going to win the Rumble. I mean, they're calling him up, changes theme music. I didn't understand that.
He's dominating.
And then he gets dominated. He really does. And then you haven't seen him since.
And he's disappeared.
So I'm like, all right, I got to think of who else. And then a man named Edge announces he's going to be in the Rumble. And he said, well, I don't know how long I've got, so I guess I'll enter. And I think he might win it.
He has a shot.
Yeah, I could see Edge. I didn't even think about that.
He's like the healthiest one out of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did not think about that, but if they put a belt on him.
He'll definitely get a belt. He'll definitely get a belt before he retires. Like, for real, like, saying, like, oh, I've done everything in my career. I'll call it, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's already into the Hall of Fame. It doesn't really matter what he does.
That's true. And he's actually the Hall of Famer that everybody cares about.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is the Women's Royal Rumble. And I have actually picked the Royal Rumble winner out of the women's 3 times, which has been times I've done. I said Asuka in 2018, she won it. I said Becky in 2019, she won it. I said Ronda Rousey last year, but, that didn't happen, so mainly just 2. So who we got this year?
I'm going to be honest, I haven't really watched a ton of the whole Diva stuff, but
right.
You guys are going to think it's weird. Carmella. Okay. I just think so. I just do.
Hey, that's a
good pick because she has been doing a lot. She did that, had that one match with Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
No, I don't really know what to. I mean, To be honest, I've been a fan of her. It's not
Yeah.
just because she looks good. It's just because I liked when she had that Money in the Bank and when she had James Ellsworth and stuff like that.
Oh, you mean James Ellsworth won it?
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, if you want to count that.
I
but
count
then-
that. I always count that.
But then didn't they redo it because of that issue?
Yeah,
And
they
then
redid it
she
that
won
next-
actually.
They redid it that next week on SmackDown, and she actually won it.
Yeah, so
So
I'm like, oh, it's all because James Ellsworth, and she just goes
Yep.
out there and just dominates everybody again.
right,
So, Alex, there's nothing wrong with that
no,
pick, to be honest. She's actually on a roll.
oh yeah, she definitely
If
is.
anyone, for me, would be Nia Jax.
Just because of
No, she's
just Nia
on
Jax,
a roll.
or she's on a roll.
She's on a roll, and what she said on Raw on Monday night is that it's her time. So I think it's her time to get a championship.
Is she gonna get rid of Baszler? Because her and
I don't know. They are actually a good they actually have good chemistry together, which is
right,
surprising.
She
So,
needs
I
to get
don't know.
RKO'd again. That's what she needs to get.
oh,
Oh my
Wait,
god!
that was amazing. That was amazing last year, or what?
Oh
Yeah,
my
2019,
God.
Yeah.
when she shockingly.
RKO, and not only did she get RKO, but she also got 619. You
That was
forgot about
funny. That was great. Well, mine is gonna be
Oh my god!
kind of one that I'm just gonna stick with. I said this summer, even after she lost the belt. I'm gonna say Bailey
I could see that.
because
can see
I
that.
have loved her heel run. When she in 2019, when she said, screw it, I'm not gonna be hugging everybody, have ponytail, I'm gonna have long black
Blue
hair, and
Yeah.
she had a really nice title run until they decided to pair her with Sasha, and they became like the headline of the shows. So
Those two are never going to be friends, to be honest.
no,
They keep on trying to make them friends. They keep on trying to make them partners.
right,
And they do really well, but then they lose one non-title match, and all that just goes right down the drain. They start blaming one another for the loss.
mm-hmm,
And there's nothing that you could do. You get tired, and then not only that, the other team would knock off so Sasha's on the apron when you get tagged. The other team would knock Sasha off, and then Bailey would blame her for being knocked off. You
mm-hmm.
you can't really do anything when you're standing on the apron waiting for the tag.
Right, absolutely. But yeah, I think Bailey is gonna win. Does she challenge Sasha, and they get that? We finally get Sasha Bailey at Mania. Possibly.
That would be fun.
That would be great. All right, next match is for the Universal Championship, a last man standing match, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. We've seen this before. Same belt, actually.
It's definitely gonna. Roman Reigns is gonna win. They're gonna have him hold the belt till WrestleMania. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but it's just Roman Reigns is not gonna lose. Especially, I don't see Kevin Owens winning it.
Yeah. I got Reigns winning it.
Yeah. That's a clean sweep for Reigns, to be honest.
Because originally it was going to be him versus the official Adam Pearce. And I'm like, I want to see that match. I'd be fine with that,
And then that guy backed the fuck out of that match.
He probably saw Reigns, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, this guy.
Owens, here,
Reigns.
Get sacrificed. So, yeah. I've actually really been interested in SmackDown a lot lately than Raw.
Yeah. I kind of feel like Roman Reigns is possibly the next John Cena and Ric Flair.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
With all these championship titles that he's going after.
Mm-hmm.
And how WWE hasn't stopped him. And I was a John Cena fan, and I denied all that shit. But even he came out, and even Triple H came out and said that there are guys like John Cena where you just have to hand them title opportunities after title opportunities.
Yeah.
Because otherwise
Absolutely.
he's just a waste of talent if they don't do that. But that's That's what I feel like Roman Reigns is. This is what, like his third Universal title,
Yep. This is his third reign.
and like his like fifth like big time championship or some shit like
yeah,
that.
he's officially a Grand Slam champion. He's won all like the major titles. So
Yeah.
And
So
them
he's gonna
changing,
catch up to that 16 championships in no time flat.
right.
and like what I was saying too. Yeah, when they changed him to a heel too, it's just that much better.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because him as a face, I mean,
He
that
wasn't
He
they,
didn't
doing all that
have.
well.
and
He
you
didn't
could
have
tell
any
the
of
crowd
the.
hated that too.
No.
I mean, watching all that, he comes out to all those boos and stuff. I mean, they waited way too long to change him to an heel.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think
when he won at the Rumble in 15, and there's just like a chorus of boos, and
I
he's
think
thinking
what
like,
the Authority should have done, because like that's when that happened, when all that shit happened, when Seth Rollins turned on them. I think it should have been Roman Reigns who turned on the Shield.
that's
That's
what I'm
when the-
thinking too.
That's when the heel should have happened. Because if you think about that, you have Roman Reigns being like mentored by Triple H due to the Authority,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's out here winning championships after championships, and you're like, what the hell?
But you gotta admit that did get a really good push out of Seth.
Oh
It did.
yeah,
And I had
it
mixed
did
emotions.
because
You can go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. No, but I had mixed emotions about that too, because it's like, yeah, it would have been nice to see Roman and stuff, but I mean, I kind of was going for legacy. I'm a huge Batista guy. That's been my favorite wrestler since day one. So it's like I didn't even know who I think would who I like better, if I like the Shield or if I like Legacy better. But like, I definitely think it should have
Evolution?
been. Yeah, why am I
was
saying legacy?
Evolution.
It's because Jeremy said legacy. That's my bad. That's my
Hey,
bad.
don't throw me under the bus.
No, that's what it's got me
No.
thinking of. I don't understand how I get that wrong, especially when I got that theme song too.
Yeah,
It's very
Evolution.
famous.
Evolution was really grand. I mean, I didn't really know of them as much because I got into wrestling late because I started like in 2012.
Yeah.
So when they came out in like 2014 to challenge the Shield, I'm like, oh, they were a group. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, they were a
okay.
group back in like the 2000s.
Yeah, I've and more. I've gotten in watching old pay-per-views and seeing highlights of stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, they were actually a pretty good group.
To be honest, the first time I ever watched WWE was with my biological parents,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like in 2003.
Oh wow,
Now,
the good old
I'm
days.
2 years old. I'm 2 years old watching that shit.
Yeah.
And then I got with my mom that I have now, and shit hit the fan. She's like, "Yeah, no, you're not watching this shit."
Oh.
She caught me and my older brother watching it. She's like, "Turn this shit off." And then she caught us watching SpongeBob. She's like, "Turn that shit off."
Hey, nothing's wrong with SpongeBob.
No.
Oh.
Is
right.
mayonnaise an instrument?
All right. Back on track here, because always derail conversations, always time. We got Drew McIntyre versus Oldberg for the WWE Championship, and I have to ask, why the fuck is Oldberg challenging for the WWE Championship?
It's so it makes no sense. I'm
You wanna
tired
really-
of seeing Goldberg.
You really want to give the people a pop for Legends Night? Have somebody else old come out and challenge for it.
Have like Triple H, The Undertaker.
Well, Taker's Taker's retired. Cena's making movies. I was
Dwayne
thinking
The Rock Johnson. There you go. Drew McIntyre or Roman Reigns versus Dwayne The Rock
Well,
Johnson.
they originally were going to do that when Mania was going to happen in Hollywood this year, even before the pandemic started. It was originally going to be Roman versus Rock.
That would have been
Come on.
amazing. The pop in that. If
Oh,
they had
that
the
would've
crowd,
been-
the pop in
Oh
that
yeah,
crowd would have been
family
insane.
versus family. There you go.
Like I saw this meme. It's like head of the table versus the person who built the table. But yeah, I really am. I'm not excited for this match, but I just pray to God Goldberg does not win.
I'm just tired of seeing Goldberg come in and fighting for the match lasting 50 seconds.
Oh yeah.
I'm just tired. And like you said, the people are definitely tired of seeing Goldberg come in. I mean,
Yeah.
they got to stop putting the belt on him. To do it one time, it's one thing. Yeah, you get a kind of a pop
They
off of
just
that,
keep
but
on bringing
now it's
them
just
in.
yeah.
It's getting
They
a
did it in 17 with Owens, and I was just like, all right, fine. Goldberg gets a belt. That's going to
And
set
then they
him
did it
versus
the
Brock. And
following
then they
year.
did it last year against The Fiend, and I'm like, why the fuck did you do that?
And then you can't forget about that one against Brock Lesnar.
Which one? At WrestleMania 20?
No, it was like the one before that in like 2018. Where
Oh,
Goldberg
okay.
defeated Lesnar in like 15 seconds.
That
or
was
some shit
16.
Like
That was at Survivor Series. I
Yeah.
actually was at that Raw because that Raw was in Denver that Goldberg returned at. And was there people popping for him then? Yeah. Is there people
No.
popping for him now? No.
See, that's why I said that they need to have like John Cena or The Rock just return
Oh, yeah.
for like one final match. Just say it's their farewell match, like they did with The Undertaker.
Right. And then this match is the final match because there's only like 5 matches on the card. There'll probably be more, but probably just throwaway matches. Asuka and Charlotte, the tag champion, the women's tag champions versus Nia Jax and Baszler. Now, your point, Jeremy, if Jax wins the women's tag belts with Baszler, will she also win the Rumble?
No.
Okay, there you go.
No. If she wins the tag championship, she will probably go into the Rumble, but then just go, fuck it. I already have a title. Fuck it. I'm already headlining WrestleMania. I'm gonna be on one of those. If we ever get there with the championships, I'll be defending the title. So fuck it. She'll probably just eliminate herself.
I mean, I'm being honest. The women's tag titles are just kind of seeming a little stale.
Well, because it's the same people over and over and over again.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't believe they put Asuka and Charlotte together. I'm like, didn't you two feud a couple of years ago?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
I have a feeling that if they lose, instantly it's going to be like another Sasha and Bailey situation.
Right. Absolutely.
I do have a question real quick. Are they having Ric Flair with Lacey Evans or something? Because
I don't fucking understand that at all.
No,
I saw that. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair pissed the fuck off.
I couldn't believe this. And I'm like, oh, I know what this is leading to, because if Charlotte and Asuka lose the tag titles, it's going to lead to Charlotte versus Lacey at Mania.
But tell me, why would Charlotte Flair just tell her own father to fuck off? Literally.
That's probably what she wants to do.
I know that's what she wants to do. She keeps on getting harassed saying you can't win a championship on your own because you have your father always in your corner.
Yeah, and then she does it.
And then she does it.
Rhea Ripley when she won the NXT Women's Championship.
Was she by herself?
Yeah, she was by herself.
Yeah. Well, because Ric Flair's like, yeah, go ahead down there. I'm not going to help you about that. You're going back down to the NXT level with Finn Balor, so go ahead.
I got to admit, though, and, Finn is my top guy. I love Finn to death. When he came back to NXT even when they were first competing with AEW, I popped because I'm like, Finn deserves to be. He's getting so mistreated on the main roster. I was happy he's back in NXT, and I was happy they put the belt on him. I was very shocked that they put the belt on him.
Yeah, he's a much better NXT guy. I think he went back down there to not only just recover from injuries, but also to improve himself against.
Absolutely, because he was getting shit on a lot on the main roster.
Well, because they had him go up against Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and those two were already unbeatable, to be honest. If Braun Strowman's 5 running slams or whatever his finishing move was, could not finish Brock Lesnar, why would the coup de grace?
I was wondering why, and this is just me in 2019. Why didn't he bring the Demon out?
I don't know.
Brock could have been a very easy opponent to bring the demon out. That would have helped him be like, maybe Brock's scared of demons. I don't know.
Yeah. I would love to see the Fiend versus the Demon. That would be amazing.
And we'll lead that into our next topic, which actually, our last topic. Our next topic is about their competition, AEW. And like we were saying before the show started, not much of us watch AEW, but we kind of know what was going on. So how are we feeling that they're actually allowing crowds, but like they're pushing them like over the side and saying that they're safe. They had masks on.
I mean,
I don't know.
Like, you gotta just, as long as I got the right precautions. I mean, there's, like you say, push them off to the side. We don't really know what's going on, but I mean, like, it's just so hard in these times, like, just to do something like that. I mean, I honestly don't know. Like, how many people are they allowing? Did they say a number?
A couple hundred or like 1,000. They said it's a very low number, so is what I've heard when they first started to. So
I mean, as long as it's low and stuff like that, I mean, it's just tough to do it. Like I said, it's just tough with today's society to take the right precautions and stuff like that. But I mean, as a fan of that kind of stuff, it's nice to see people getting back into it because especially with watching WWE and stuff. To me, I don't know about other people. It's just definitely not the same as it was like when I first started watching it and stuff like that. I just don't have that same feeling towards it.
When the pandemic started and they went to like absolutely no crowds, it just felt so weird.
Oh yeah,
to see that
you could hear everything,
and then you can hear everything, and even at WrestleMania, and then like slowly bringing crowds back, having Performance Center people show up, and I'm like, well, that's not right. And then officially having say, hey, you can come watch the show on your computer through Thunderdome, and I'm like, okay. That's new.
Some noise. We'll get some noise out of this.
We'll get some noise out of this. It'll just be background noise, but whatever.
Who cares?
Exactly. So, but yeah, I'm for it. I like WWE and AEW. I can't choose just one. Everybody wants me to choose one. It's like, no, I like both. So this is the question I want to pose to both of you. What are your thoughts about how they bring in WCW alums either to wrestle or be manager? Because think about it. They have Arn Anderson, who's Cody's manager. They have Tully Blanchard, who is FTR's manager. They brought back Sting for crying out loud, and he's actually going to wrestle. It's just, are they trying to get a pop out of us, or is it like, hey, you don't want to work for WWE anymore? Come work with us.
I mean, that's kind of tough. I mean, I don't know who's really popping for like Arn Anderson and stuff like that. But it's like,
I'm not. Yeah. I mean, when he first showed up at the pay-per-view, like Double or Nothing, and like got physical with people. I like when the managers get physical. Like they say, they're like, hey, I still got it. I can still go. It's like, you can't go for like a full match.
You can't have a manager like Paul Heyman who just stands in the corner and just barks shit at the ref.
Goes like this and just talks shit. Just goes like this.
That's a 3 count. That's a 3 count. Kick out. Come on.
But yeah, I mean, I'll even give you an example. Jake the Snake Roberts. I was at the Dynamite when he debuted. I popped hard. I didn't know who it was at first. They had like the music flaring, and then they flashed up Jake the Snake. I'm like, oh,
I'd pop for that. I would pop for that.
Oh, I did. It was amazing. And then the promo he had, oh, it was great. And of course, Sting coming back, but they're not doing it just to have it be like, hey, it's a pop, and then, you don't see him anymore. They kind of stay. So I don't know. I'm fine with it, but it's kind of interesting how they're like, oh, this is AEW. This is the brand new promotion on TNT. It's like, oh, the last time there was a wrestling promotion on TNT, it was WCW, and these guys were on it. I'm like, oh, okay, so. But yeah, it's fun. So who would, if you had the power to persuade Tony Khan, the owner of them, who would you like to see in AEW if you could?
So, for me, I'm saying
Yeah, for you.
no doubt. I want to see CM Punk in AEW.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say Punk is definitely one of them.
Oh yeah,
That was
That-
top.
that
Because
is
I saw
definitely-
rumors for it too. There
Yeah,
are
there's
rumors at the
definitely
beginning
rumors.
about CM
Yep.
Punk, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's rumors every year about CM Punk either doing something
Yeah.
with WWE and stuff like that. But I mean, now if CM Punk came to AEW, I promise you, I'm watching AEW every time it's on.
Oh,
That'd
that's
be
Yeah.
amazing.
I say we'll quote that. We'll quote that.
I mean,
if anybody's
Chris-
listening, quote that.
Isn't Chris Jericho still fighting in
Yeah,
AEW?
Jericho is still fighting. He's still going
And
hard.
he-
Everybody
and he
wants
has
him to
that dad
retire.
bod growing too.
Yep, he definitely has
Oh
the dad
my
bod. He do not
God,
care.
He left the WWE, and the first time I see him in an AEW commercial,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit! That
Yep.
guy transformed in a week. He said, "All right, yep, leaving WWE, going to AEW, time to fill up on some beers."
Oh yeah, probably.
It was.
See, I think
hilarious.
we're-
I'm like,
Right. So yeah, I think we're all in agreement that we want to see Punk. So
oh yeah, that's definitely something up Punk's alley.
oh yeah, he'd definitely do it. All right, next thing I want to talk about. I teased this at the first segment we were talking about. Favorite WWE matches. I have mine. Alex, what is yours?
Like of all time?
Of all time, that when you actually started watching.
All right, so one of my favorites. I'm a huge fan of watching The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So like when he faced against Triple H in the Hell in a Cell, and then he went up against Shawn
Mania
Michaels.
28.
Oh, those
That's
two.
mine. I
loved
fucking love that match.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite matches because it not only was a really good wrestling match, it told a really good story.
Yeah.
And then of course they ruined it by having the match at Crown Jewel. DX versus Brothers of
Yeah.
Destruction. God, that match was terrible.
I
mean,
was trying
Triple
to
H-
find clippets of that match, and that didn't go well.
Well, Triple H tore his pec mid-match.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Oh, I can keep going." It's like you could see he's in pain. And then Sean over here is just Sean. So,
Redneck.
yeah.
Trying to sweet chin music, everyone.
Right.
Hey, Rob, he's injured.
So Jeremy, what's your favorite
Favorite
match if you had to pick one?
match of all time was the two John Cena versus Dwayne The Rock Johnson matches.
Yeah, those were good.
Those lasted almost an hour.
Mm-hmm. They did.
I love both those. I
And,
remember.
and the
So
fact that Dwayne The Rock Johnson turned down CM Punk too made it even better.
Right.
Because Dwayne said, "You can't handle me."
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I choose Cena is because he's like the next me, basically. And he and I already fought, and we almost had to just forfeit because of how long it was going. It was like the
Right.
my favorite part about those is so as I'm younger, I never I would listen to the promos and stuff, and I really
Mhm.
understood what was going on because I was younger.
Right.
But now going
Rudy
back though,
Temple.
and listening to those promos, I love listening to when you can hear them actually going at each other, like John Cena talking about how he doesn't need to write his promo down on his wrist and stuff like that. It was I love listening to John Cena promos when he cut
those
the
are
fourth
fun.
God.
He
He
cuts
did
the
that to
best
Roman Reigns.
promos.
When he did that to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns, he left him flustered and stuff. I loved it.
He broke Roman Reigns.
Because he said, "It's a promo, kid. You gotta learn how to cut one." I'm like,
And Roman
"Damn."
Reigns is like, "Shut your mouth, John."
He's like, "Yeah, shut your mouth, John." I'm like,
Yeah.
Nothing came out of his mouth after that. And John Cena's like, "See, here's my point." Just dropped the mic and walked away.
So here's my point.
Damn. And then that match was also pretty good too.
Yeah, Cena versus Reigns, the one at No Mercy, I think was pretty good.
Almost lasted an hour.
I'll give you my top 3, and feel free if you want to do your top 3. My next one is Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe at like Takeover Dallas.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm getting into NXT matches now when Finn actually was in NXT. I absolutely love that match because not only did Joe get busted open several times, but Balor's entrance, paying tribute to the Demon, paying tribute to Leatherface with a chainsaw. Oh my God, I pop every time I rewatch that. I'm like, oh.
I'm getting chills just hearing about it.
Yeah. So if you could pick your top 3, what would it be, gentlemen?
Okay.
Either Alex or Jeremy can go first, depending on.
Alrighty, I'll go first this time.
Okay.
So my number 1 would have to be was it the 2013 match where John Cena beat Dwayne Rock Johnson at WrestleMania?
Yeah, that was WrestleMania 29.
Wasn't it like back-to-back WrestleManias?
Rock beat him in 28, and then Cena beat him in 29. That actually was for the title.
Yeah. So those 2 are my top 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then my top third one would be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh yes.
Just like the whole entire storyline.
Oh, big
Not
time.
Just like one
big
match.
time,
just
definitely.
the whole entire matches between those 2.
Right. Definitely.
So for me, the Triple H one, it's tough because like the ones I'm thinking of are like ones that probably aren't the greatest, but I remember them the most.
Right.
I remember the I Quit match between Batista and John Cena.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was good.
Yeah, I don't like John Cena at all. I hate John Cena. But I mean, I think that match was amazing.
Where John Cena made Batista say "I quit" and still had the guts to attitude adjustment his ass off of the car.
Yeah, and then there was the one where didn't he like tape his legs and stuff around the.
That was I think that was like Extreme Rules.
Yeah, Last Man Standing, Extreme Rules. That was.
But I remember the I Quit one the most.
You got to give Cena credit where it's due, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In those matches, he came up with creative ways to not only hang in there, but to also find a way to win them.
Right. Definitely.
And then for some reason, when I think about it, I think of the 2011 Royal Rumble match where Alberto Del Rio won it. And
where like 40 people entered.
Was it like Santino was the last one?
Yeah, Santino was the last one.
Yeah,
I remember sitting there watching that with my family, my dad and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, please just win this, please. And when he lost, I was so disappointed, but I remember that one a lot.
Santino was probably the funniest superstar ever.
Oh, I love Santino.
I love watching his old
clips.
You got the Cobra, and then you got him doing the fucking trumpet walking around.
Yes.
He had that when he had that tea party with Sheamus and.
Oh God.
Yeah.
and then he would like walk around the ring like he's Mr. Macho Man.
Yes.
Oh my God.
All right, I said Taker Triple H Mania 28. Balor versus Joe, Takeover Dallas. My third one, and this is another Taker match, but I absolutely love it. Taker versus Michaels, not 25, but 26 when Shawn's career was on the line. I absolutely love that match.
Yeah.
Because that entire promo, because I go back and watch that promo when I get the chance to, and Taker's just, Shawn's desperate. Like he wants that last match with Taker. He'll even put his career on the line, and Taker's like, all right, fine.
No, yeah.
Go
ahead.
I would also say the Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair match.
The kick of where Shawn's like, I'm sorry, I love you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Didn't that one retire Ric Flair? Like officially?
Yep, that's one where Flair officially.
Yeah.
And then he came back in TNA.
He came back and just became fucking
Oh yeah.
Charlotte Flair's douchebag, basically.
Oh, big time. Definitely big time. I was like, all right, that's fine when your daughter wins the belt, but you don't have to keep costing her. And then
Oh my god.
I didn't understand that. That was probably just Rick's way of.
He did say he was a big time cheater, so
That is true. He's the
that's
dirtiest
probably
player.
why he won 16 championships.
Right. That's why he's the dirtiest player in the game. So.
But you have to have tricks.
Right. All right. We talked about
WWE allowed John Cena.
Right. We talked about our favorite matches. Let's go on to some dream matches. I'll stick with WWE. We won't do AEW. We'll just stick with WWE. Top 3, if you can. Just pick a wrestler you really like and who you want to face.
Ooh.
Man, that's tough to think of.
I know. Because we probably seen them all.
I have one dream match.
Okay. Go ahead.
AEW versus WWE.
Just
Pick like 5 superstars.
Oh, Survivor Series type. Have like an elimination. That'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
WWE superstars and see who wins.
I'd pick for AEW and then you can do
find out who picks the best
WWE.
brand.
Right. You could pick for WWE. I'll pick for AEW because I watch it more. I'll take Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Orange Cassidy. That'd be my 5 for AEW.
Mine would be Roman Reigns, Keith Lee, Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and this one might get a lot of controversy, but Cesaro.
Hey,
Cesaro's good.
Cesaro's pretty good. I like
Cesaro's on a
Cesaro.
roll. I'm glad that he left the tag team with
Sammy and Shinsuke, the Artist Collective, I think it was called.
That was, oh my god.
It was bad.
It was bad.
No, I'm gonna be honest.
Was out.
I don't know who really Matt Riddle is, but what I've seen from him, I don't like him at all.
Really?
No. So
he
what I
needs to put some shoes on.
What I saw and what the thing is that at WrestleMania should be Brock Lesnar versus Matt Riddle for a retirement match.
Well, because there was an interaction at the 2020 Royal Rumble where Riddle was talking so much shit to Brock, and Brock is just like, "Oh, I could kick your ass now, nonstop." So Riddle's like, "Oh, you want to bet?" He even did that with Goldberg. Because when they met at like SummerSlam, I think it was 2019, there even is a clip of it, and Goldberg's like, "Oh, we need to talk about this, because you've been talking so much shit about me on social media," and Riddle's like, "Oh, I will, bro, personally," and then Goldberg just goes, and this is another reason I hate Goldberg. He doesn't get today's popularity, so he's like, "I'm not your bro." I'm like, really? Really? Okay.
Isn't Matt Riddle the guy that wrestles without a shirt on and no shoes? Yeah.
Yeah.
He has like that. He has the potential to be something big, but then he goes out talking way too much shit.
Oh, definitely.
He needs to stop that. Like, if you want to talk that much shit, then you better back it up. And from what I've seen him do, is he would talk that shit, and yeah, he would win matches just by getting away with some stuff. But the only impressive thing was him winning the gauntlet, just
right
to face Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, he's got a title opportunity to face Bobby Lashley anytime. So
yeah, and that's going to be an easy win for Bobby Lashley.
Oh yeah,
I think like an Edge versus Seth Rollins would be interesting.
That is definitely on my top list. I definitely want to see Edge versus Rollins.
Oh, I would love to see another Edge versus Orton.
We've seen it already, twice last year.
One final time since Edge is saying, if this is like my last shot to fight, you know?
Right.
One final time for all the marbles.
Mm-hmm.
That one
I'll
was
make
probably
it
my
a
favorite match last year, though. The Edge versus Orton.
WWE title match.
The what was it? Last man
That felt-
standing.
Yeah,
That match was kind of
I really
boring at
liked
like
it.
the first part, but
I
then
think it
more
was good.
picked up. It picked up more like as it
Yeah.
progressed on. So
but then what did they? Is that what they ended it with, or did they end it with the Boneyard match?
they ended. The Boneyard match was night 1. The last match of night 2 was Drew versus Brock.
Oh, I forgot they did the 2-night thing. I completely forgot.
Yeah, they did
about
two.
that.
They did. They're doing.
Yeah.
They're doing 2 nights this year, but they did 2 nights last year.
I
Drew
do like
versus-
that idea though. 2 nights.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar was just a joke. To be honest.
At least got the title off of Brock
Yeah, and send him away.
and sent him away, and we haven't seen him since. And that's who a lot of people are saying is going to be like one of the surprise entrants, and he might even win. I'm like, if they do that,
If they haven't come in at number 30, what if that's the 30th one?
yeah, I'd imagine
If that is, then I'm turning it off.
he's definitely winning. And then we're just like, Brock, we haven't seen you in a long time.
No, I would love to see one more match with Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
possible.
And I think if he
That's
faced
what I
Roman
wanna
Reigns,
see.
that's a perfect match for him to end it right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone thought that the John Cena versus The Rock would be the ending one, but I want to see him get in the ring one last time.
Right. Yeah, I definitely think.
John Cena needs to get back in the ring one last time.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely said he would. I mean,
He would. But
they said
he
Mania
did-
this year that he possibly might. So I'm like, oh, who would he
He did
face?
say that WrestleMania does not need to have John Cena in it. And last year, that WrestleMania thing against him and The Fiend was really stupid.
Really? You didn't like the Firefly Funhouse match?
I like that a lot.
I
That was
loved it. It
how
was
they were bringing back the
amazing.
old stuff and everything. That was awesome.
To
Like
be
they brought
honest,
back his like first like how he debuted, and then he became like the Doctor of Thugonomics, and then
Oh, seeing the Thugonomics thing, I love that.
Oh, I
because
loved it.
I
I
love that
loved
whole
his
persona and
intro
stuff like
2
that.
years ago when he came back with the Doctor of Thugonomics just to knock out Elias.
just like Elias, yeah,
With Elias's
Yep.
guitar.
yep.
was hilarious. But last year, I don't know, when John Cena came out and said WrestleMania does not need to have me in it, and then the Fiend instantly just comes out
Just
and points
points
to
at the
WrestleMania sign,
Cena tips
John
his hat,
Cena
and we
gives
get a
his
match.
and I'm like, really? Like, there was like no fighting between those two up until like WrestleMania.
It was all just
Oh, it
basically
was-
story based.
It was just promos after
Oh, yeah.
promos, and I'm like, don't get me wrong, John Cena roasted the hell out of Bray Wyatt, roasted him, but then he went on to lose.
And then he
That's
just
why I-
disappeared.
Yeah, and then he goes on to make movies, and I'm like, and be on the Experian Boost commercials. I'm like, this is really what you're doing right now with your life?
Right.
A hefty commercial, being on the Experian Boost.
Oh god, I
Commercial.
guess. Yeah. And he's gonna be in Suicide Squad.
At least he and The Rock were actually teaming up to be in a movie together, which is
Fast and
About
Furious
that.
9.
yeah.
That looks actually pretty good.
As Toretto's brother, so
Yep.
but the fact that they made him the enemy in that movie.
Oh yeah. As you could tell, ladies and gentlemen, this is basically just banter of us talking about it. So,
Hey, isn't that how every single show goes, to be
oh,
honest?
possibly.
I bet
But
you
yeah.
watch the Today Show, what they do on this side, they're probably like, yeah, we banter half the time.
Oh yeah. But yeah,
Can't wait
I'm
for the next segment.
right. I'm definitely excited about Mania this year. Rumble, not so much. I mean, it could exceed my expectations. They're not really set that high. I got Edge winning the men's. I got Bailey winning the women's.
I got a lot of NXT people coming in this year for the Rumble.
You mean UFC?
No, NXT.
NXT, okay.
NXT
Yeah, I
wrestlers.
think Gargano and Ciampa might make an appearance, or at least Gargano.
I think Finn Balor might also make an appearance.
Yeah, Balor might say it's just like, I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm still here, and it goes on to win the shit.
Oh, God.
Oh God. Main event.
There you
not
go.
only-
That'd be the shock.
You could main event WrestleMania NXT champion. How about that? There you go.
There you go.
There's the main event, folks. Whoever wants to go back to the NXT faces Finn Balor for the NXT champion.
Right.
WrestleMania.
I mean, hey, they did it. They did it last year with the women's when Charlotte won, and then she fights Rhea Ripley, and then beats her, and I'm like, okay, so
NXT comes back up here.
yeah, and then she's like, well, I lost my NXT Women's Championship. I'll just come back up to main roster.
And cheat with my dad again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dad, help me cheat. I need to get back on top. I need more titles.
Yeah.
Stupid bitch. Now look at you. You're getting knocked out by not only your father, but by a chick named Lacey Evans.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Lacey Evans. I thought I would. I thought I'd first like her, and then she showed up to fight Becky when Becky won the 2 belts, and then she fought her. I'm like, okay, this is new.
She's
Who
cute.
is
Don't
this?
get me wrong. She is cute, but I just don't see the potential that people see.
Jeremy, you got a thing for older women?
No, I'm just saying the facts, man.
Right. It's actually
saying she just doesn't have the. I don't see the potential to
Right.
be like a champion yet.
right.
I say give her about 5 years.
Right. And it's actually pretty nice because recently I met a girl that we're actually dating now. So
Congratulations.
thank you. She has been into wrestling. So she and I somewhat talk about wrestling when we can. She didn't understand the no crowds either. And I'm like, that's what a pandemic. That's what a pandemic does.
Vince McMahon.
It's a good thing though, that she likes wrestling. That's perfect.
Yeah,
That's a
I
perfect
couldn't believe it,
scenario right there. Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. Not many women are into wrestling,
yeah.
but
There's not too many girls that are really into that.
See, that's
Right.
my dream girl. One,
just be into wrestling.
she needs to be into wrestling. 2, she needs to know sports. And 3, she needs to let me do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Okay, anybody, if you're listening, there's, and you match all those categories, hit Jeremy up.
Jeremy's got it.
He's got it, man. All right, it's been fun. It's been great having both Alex and Jeremy on here, and they are actually going to come back next week. I'll probably talk about this after the show, but we're talking because that week is the Super Bowl. We're going to be having a Super Bowl themed episode talking about the 2 people who are in it and just yakking about football. So thank y'all for
going for his 7.
Right. Thank y'all for watching or listening. Watching, you probably don't listen or watch podcast. Whatever. Thank y'all for listening. Make sure to give us a review in wherever you can get podcasts. It's probably going to go up on Anchor and Spotify. So again, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Jeremy. And we will see you soon.
So, yeah.